Hi guys, we are finished exploring Scala and Prolog comparisons. Today at final video we can check how to integrate each other, how call Prolog programs inside of Scala class. The API we are using today for this test of concept is the tuProlog, a lightweight interface which allows us for directly creating facts and rules for submitting queries for Prolog in the same way as we did using the SWI compiler. Enjoy it!
Well, I had some research with some other Prolog libraries for Java, but the only viable option that I have been found is tuProlog. With about 99% of sure, I can say it's the best library for dealing this kind of integration today. From the website of tuProlog, we have a pretty definition of what tuProlog is. tuProlog is a lightweight Prolog system for distributed applications and infrastructures, intentionally designed around a minimal core containing only the most essential properties of a Prolog engine, provide a clean, seamless integration model between Prolog and mainstream object-oriented languages. It is also easily deployable, just requiring the presence of a jar of a Java virtual machine and an invocation upon a single self-contained archive file. Interoperability is further developed along the two main lines of Internet standard patterns and coordination models. Well, some features of this API are lightweight. It's light, you don't have to download too many libraries in order to make things work. So it doesn't have external dependencies or any that I know, little or nothing dependencies. It supports integration with .NET and Android, include an Eclipse plugin, but we don't need it for day-by-day development, and for the sample we don't need this plugin. By now the most updated version of this library requires Java 7. Let's check it out his website. Let's download the tuProlog jars from the official website. Here, the download link requires Java 7. After downloading the tuProlog jars and extract the package, we can see it has only 7 megabytes. It's really light and doesn't have too much dependencies for running. It's a very good feature because it simplifies our build. Inside bin folder you have two jar files, one the tup jar and the tuProlog jar. The first one is the Prolog compiler and debugger, much similar the SWI compiler. Easy to test your Prolog application by submitting queries. Let's try with the previous cat tone sample and submit query asking what cat is. Cat x period, and let's submit a query here. What cat is? And Prolog answers me solution for the cat. The solution is Tom. Prolog supports functions with multiple answers. For the same query, for example, cat Tom, cat and Albert, maybe cat, Garfield. You can search for the next answers using the buttons here below. There are functions which returns more than one answers. In this case, we have 3 possibilities for the same query. I hit the button next. Prolog will show you next possible solutions. If it doesn't exist, will fail. You can accept. For example, I accept Tom is a cat. This action stops the Prolog machine for not evaluating more solutions for your query. tuProlog API can do the same inside a Java program by calling specific methods, and we'll see this feature later on this video. The second jar is the tuProlog, and you import your site inside your project for using the API and program something on it. Let's open the IntelliJ and see. Let's create a new Scala project. It's important ensuring that your project must have SDK version 1.7 because the tuProlog only supports this version of Java, not below. Name it your project as Prolog Scala. Finish. Let's create a new package. Name it con.prolog. After that, let's create a new Scala class. Name it Prolog Scala. Let's change the type of class for object. It will allow us using it as a singleton and running. Is a feature of Scala for running main class of programs. The difference is the object automatically implement the singleton pattern. In contrast of Java, you don't need to implement it by scratch. In this case, we only have a single instance of this object on this Java virtual machine. That's why we created this object. Let's define a main method. Let's add our Prolog library in the project. It's similar than we do on Eclipse. Open the project properties, go to libraries, add a new Java library, browse for the jar, and select the tuProlog. Okay, save and build your project. Let's try to integrate and call a Prolog query. First, let's import the class needed using import ls tuProlog. All the class needed, just using the underscore for getting all the package. Let's create a Prolog engine. It's the main object for executing the rules on the library. You always need it for dealing with the classes of tuProlog. Let's create a theory. Don't forget the full stop. A theory can be a fact, a rule, or even an atom word. It's common used for making rules for being evaluated after. Set theory to engine. If you do not, Prolog engine won't know anything about your rule and will throw an exception. Let's try to submit a query using the solve method on engine. Get the result of your query, the object term, store the result complete with the boolean answer and inside the value of x, including you should debug this object and see how to extract your desired value. The engineers of the library was smart enough for creating a very flexible API. Prolog can answer a query in several forms, not just in assigning values to variables. There are almost infinite forms of dealing with query responses, and it will depend the problem you state on the theory submitted. That's why the object term is so complex and compound it's so Prolog's flexibility compared to object-oriented languages. At last getting the solution method from the info and print it on console using the println just for the bug. Let's run it. This is our answer here. Cat Tom, name, cat, predicate, an argument. This is the value of x, so you must extract it. You must do some homework for extracting the values inside here. There is a complex structure inside the term classes.
Well guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy. See you on the next video, more about new technologies. And send me your feedback at email lambdapool@gmail.com. See you later.